The water's squirting up from the bottom. You'll see it in the back corner.
Oh, yeah. Do we know if it's fresh or salt?
These rocks have been sitting in that soil for a long period of time.
Right.
Possibly before the money pit was discovered.
Shocking details just leaked about the season 13 finale that proved the treasure hunt is moving to a brand new spot. The money pit is caving in, but a hidden room under the shoreline is finally opening up. This leaked report says the discovery is so big that it could rewrite history books forever. People are calling it the billion-dollar secret for a reason. Bravo Tango is diving into these leaks to show what's really happening behind the scenes. So here's a theory. The treasure might not even be in the pit. Shoreline secrets found under the mud. Something could have been the original attempt, or maybe one of the first times anyone tried to hide something here. The world really wants to see what sits at the bottom of that deep shaft. Based on many new things found this year, the team has a good reason to believe that this 80 feet deep rotten wood structure connects to the original money pit. Before the Oak Island season 13 finale airs, there's something everyone needs to understand. This season has already crossed the line. It isn't just about what the team found, but about what the show refuses to finish. 13 seasons teach people a pattern. You dig, you find something, you explain it, and then you repeat. Season 13 breaks that pattern completely. Instead of giving answers, the show is giving silence. Instead of excitement, there's a lot of hesitation. The finale isn't being built like a big party, it's being built like a fast wrap-up. Buried inside that choice is a clue so small that most people will miss it. Stay until the end of this story, because when that final clue clicks, people will realize season 13 was never about gold. It was about stopping at the wrong moment. Subscribe to Bravo Tango now, because after the finale, this story might never be told the same way again. Okay, it's time to find the truth about the billion-dollar secret. November 5th, 2025 marked the return of the team. But what happened after the cameras stopped moving is what has everyone talking.
Yeah, this could be something, Pete. This sounds like it's non-ferrous.
For years, the world has been told the money pit is the main target. Everyone has watched drills go down and water come up. Wood chips get tested and people wait. But here's the catch. The real action for the season 13 finale might not be in the pit at all. It's happening right on the edge of the water. According to a leaked report from a source close to the show, the team found something huge during the filming of the last episodes. This isn't just another old metal tool or a piece of clay. The leak describes a hidden room located under the shore. This area was explored in the episode called Billion-Dollar Clues. Someone hit a piece of wood and said it sounded hollow. The hope is to make the shaft bigger to see what's inside. That episode talked about strange things that didn't make sense for the rocks in that area. Well, it turns out those strange things weren't rocks at all. They were walls. The talk online is that this room connects to the old European stories people have heard for a long time. But this time, the team has real proof. This is a building that keeps things safe from the rising ocean tides. This is building work that was way ahead of its time. The person who leaked the info claims that once they broke into this empty space, the water didn't rush in like it usually does. That means it was a sealed room, like a time capsule buried in the mud. Hands down, this is the biggest rumor to come out of Nova Scotia in 10 years.
Parchment and bookbinding, which is evidence that there's something written down in the ground and it was put on parchment.
If there's an empty room under the shore, it explains why the flood tunnels in the money pit worked so well. They weren't just traps. They were part of a giant water system centered around this shore room. The leak says the finale will focus mostly on getting into this space. But getting inside isn't the only problem. The real problem is what happens when someone opens a door that has been closed for 500 years. The weight down there is huge. There are tons of wet dirt and ocean water pushing against wood that's already rotting away. The risk of a total disaster is higher than ever. During the digging, the ground actually started to drop. This fits with the scary parts people see in the early show clips. It isn't just movie magic, it's real danger. Everyone's obsessed with the idea that the team might have been looking in the wrong spot for 10 years. If the treasure or the truth was under the shoreline the whole time, then the money pit was just a trick to keep people busy. This changes the whole story of the show. It moves the focus from digging straight down to looking sideways. It links the swamp, the shore, and the pit in a way nobody expected. If this room really exists, it proves the builders had a plan that was much smarter than just hiding a box. They were building an underground fort. But just as the team was getting ready to go in, something went wrong. It's been missing for years, but this key detail can shock everyone who thought the hunt was almost over. You can't just dig into an island that's full of holes and expect it to stay strong. While the shore room is the new focus, the money pit is still a monster that won't be tamed. The real danger was waiting in the main pit. Money pit collapse ends the season. The second big part of this leak points to a total disaster that happened right in the middle of the main dig site. For season 13, the plan was to go all in with everything they had. The team used huge machines and big metal tubes to push into the ground. They wanted to finally dry out the area and see the bottom. But the Earth had a different idea. Leaked info says the ground around the money pit became very weak and dangerous. There was a collapse that scared the whole crew. Imagine spending millions of dollars to fix a hole only to see the ground eat it up. That is the worst thing that could happen. The word is that a hollow space deep down just gave way. This caused a shift that put the big machines on the surface in danger. This is likely why there's so much talk about a heartbreaking discovery. It might not be heartbreaking because of history, but because the project itself is in trouble. If the money pit can't be dug safely, the hope of reaching the bottom is over. Things get even crazier when you realize this collapse might have helped the team find something new. When the ground moved, it showed another layer of trash and wood. There are rumors of wood samples pulled up right after the ground fell. This wood doesn't look like it came from the searchers in the 1800s. This wood is very, very old.
Any ideas, Lid?
But it's been down there for a long time.
Yeah, it has.
I think we have to go clean it off.
Basically, this brings back the idea of digging a giant open hole. Fans have been asking for years for the team to just dig everything out like a big mine. They want the soil cleared away so everyone can see what's there. The leak says that after this groundfall, the team finally thought about this big move. They now see that small drills aren't working anymore. They need to move the whole mountain of dirt. The stress on the island is very high right now. The leaders of the hunt have put their whole lives into this. Now they are looking at a hole that is trying to break their expensive tools. The finale is going to show them making a hard choice. Do they stop because it's too dangerous, or do they push even harder and tear the island apart? New reports show more people are watching the show now than before. People like the danger, but for the workers on the island, it's a nightmare. A ground fall at 100 feet deep is a huge deal. It shakes the whole island and makes the water in every other hole turn cloudy. It ruins the data the team is trying to collect. So, the finale is moving toward a giant showdown. On one side, there's the shore room, a perfect time capsule waiting to be opened. On the other, there's the money pit, a falling threat that is hiding evidence as it caves in. The team had to decide where to spend their last days of the year. The choice they made might explain why the rumors are moving toward Lot 5. The ground under them was no longer safe to stand on. A hidden layer of wood changed the entire timeline. Medieval evidence rewrites history books. Everyone's obsessed with pirates, but the leaks say the truth is much older. People want to believe it was a famous pirate like Blackbeard. But the new details point in a different direction. The things the team found during these digs aren't from the 1700s. They are medieval. The team has talked about the Knights Templar before, but usually it's just a guess based on a rock carving. This time, the leak says there's real proof. There are wood samples that have been tested to be from the 1300s or the 1400s. That is hundreds of years before any explorer like Columbus ever came to this side of the ocean. What most people don't realize is how huge this is for history. If Europeans were on Oak Island in the 1300s, every school book is wrong. The leak mentions people living and working there long before the money pit was found in 1795. The talk is mostly about Lot 5. This area has been giving the team a lot of small items lately, but the finale is rumored to show a huge win. There are tools being found that aren't for digging small holes. These are building tools that match designs used in Old France and Scotland. If you find a tool meant to build a castle inside a hole in Nova Scotia, you have a mystery that is worth more than gold. So, here's the deal. Some people think the treasure was never meant to be money. It might have been a safe place for a group of people who were being hunted. The leak says the finale will focus a lot on this idea. The team wants to move away from just hunting for gold and focus on the history. Why would they do that? Well, you can't spend millions of dollars and walk away with nothing. But if you change history, you still win the game. This old link also helps explain why the flood tunnels are so hard to beat. Pirates didn't have the skills to build a water trap that works with the tides. That takes math and a lot of workers. A religious army group did have those skills. They built giant churches that are still standing today. They knew how to move dirt and water. The finale is expected to show these items in a big way. Viewers might see the team in the war room looking at a report that confirms the dates. Imagine the look on their faces when they learn the wood they found is 600 years old. It proves that what they've been saying is true. But there's a dark side to this. If people were here that long ago, they were hiding something for a reason. The more the team digs into Lot 5, the more the story feels like a mystery from a crime scene. They found something that wasn't meant to be seen by anyone. The island was starting to fight back against the team. Final mystery leaves fans wanting more. Honesty is key when talking about the end of this season. No one can talk about the Oak Island finale without thinking about the old story. 7 lives must be lost before the treasure is found. That is the line that starts every show. It's a shadow that hangs over the whole island. According to the leaks, the season 13 finale comes very close to making that story real. We have to be careful with these words, but rumors of a bad event are tied to that groundfall. It wasn't just dirt moving. It was almost a total disaster for the people there. Reports say the crew was truly scared. When people work with big machines on ground that isn't steady, things go wrong fast. The leak says the finale acts as a loud warning. Things on the island have become so risky that the local leaders might have stepped in. There's talk of orders to stop all work. Imagine getting so close to the biggest find ever and then having a government worker lock the gate because the ground is unsafe. This fits with the legend of the island. The land seems to fight to keep its secrets. Every time the team gets close, the weather gets bad or the machines break. This season, the stakes were higher because the hole was deeper. Does the island really have a mind of its own? Tell Bravo Tango what you think is true. Like and subscribe now for more updates.